Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Nursing Uncharted. This is part two of our amazing episode with Hailey, the physical trainer who dove deep into why physical fitness is important in our everyday life. Part two will dive even deeper into what those moves actually look like and how to make it work in your everyday life. Where
Mhm,
we start, and you said like the mobility, and
mhm.
just though you had mentioned you have like a go-to mobility
Yeah,
set. And like, I think that for nurses getting just started, that is a good place to start because you
for
don't
sure.
have the time excuse
Mhm.
and you don't have,
Right.
the
Takes 5
equipment.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I would love if you would kind of dive into that and like
for sure.
explain, what that is and what you've recommended.
So, it's the warm up that I have done for years because it's really it hits your full body. It's the warm up that most of my clients do, like, they now have all been with me for a year that I'm like, yeah, I don't have to be here to hold your hand to do it. You can do it, and, like, you can get started, and we can actually get started at the top of the hour. So, it's 5 moves. There's obviously ways you can kinda layer onto these things, like, that I'll kinda do throughout my workout, but it's a squat, so do 10 squats and, like, really do it in front of a mirror, which is the most uncomfortable thing for people to do is
Yeah.
watch themselves doing something, and it may deter them away. So if that's not your thing, like, the other piece that I will say, just kind of like an asterisk here, is whatever you plan to do, because this all comes with planning. Like, you're not just, like,
Mhm.
gonna hop out of bed one morning and be like, "Okay, let me do this mobility routine," if you've never done it before. Like, we
Yeah.
have to be intentional about our planning with it. But 10 squats, and the reason I say check your form is because if you're just kinda, like, bouncing through them and you're
Yeah.
not really like, be intentional about what you're doing so you actually get some benefit out of it, but do 10 squats and then touch your toes. So you do your 10 squats and you stand straight up, and if you can't reach for your toes, knees, shins, ankles, whatever you can reach for,
Yeah.
and if you have the mobility, which is the hard part, let me see if I can kinda so if you're whatever you're reaching for as you're bent over, then you're just gonna extend up and kinda twist through. So I don't know if I should actually do
Like
this
with
on
like
camera or
one
not.
like one like you twist to the side,
So, yeah, let me
like
see
a
if I
core
can.
twist.
Essentially, yeah, so you'd be, like, down like so, reach for, and then twist
And
up,
then twist
and
up. Yeah.
you might not get all the way, you might just, like, do an elbow because the arm might be a little bit too
Yeah.
much. So,
Those are all things
reaching
that
for
you
your
can work up
toes.
to. Yeah.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
so at least reach for your toes, hold that. You can come out of it kind of as needed, but reaching for your toes for at least a minute. Like, if you're just doing it for, like, 4 seconds and then come out of it, your body's never gonna have that time to adapt. During all of these, just focus on your breathing. It's the hardest thing. People always wanna hold their breath during all of this stuff, but the more that you time movement with your breathing, which is a huge part of, like, the Pilates practice, the easier it will get. When you
Mhm.
hold your breath, your body's, like, going into a state of, like, fight or flight, essentially. So, like, let your body breathe so that way the movement gets easier, and your breath will help send, like, a signal from your brain to your muscles to relax. Like,
Yeah.
it's a very
It
scientific
is hard to
thing.
breathe during this, like, and,
Yeah.
and
It's not
I
easy.
feel, yeah, and I feel like I'm not the most athletic person, but I do take this seriously, and
Sure.
even when I'm stretching and I'm in pain, I hold my breath, and, like, I'll have
Mhm.
some of the trainers be like,
You're just like,
"And
"Breathe,
breathe," and I'm
breathe."
like,
Literally,
"Oh, okay."
everyone.
And you can get further, like, you can get more
Mhm.
into it, you relax, and it
Yes.
does help.
Like, every exhale is, like, regulating your nervous system. So just
Mhm.
think of it that way, like, when you're feeling anxious in it, the more that you focus on the breathing and especially that exhale and, like, letting that energy go, the more you're just gonna feel in a relaxed state. It's gonna be hard at first. None of this is easy at first. Like, again, the steps are simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy to do because you have to
Yeah,
get the mindset there, you have to get your body there. If you're tight and stiff, like, it's not gonna be an enjoyable process. But we have to think long term, light at the end of the tunnel, the more you do it,
yeah,
the easier it becomes. It's like anything in life. None of us are pro. I'm still not a pro. I will never
yeah,
be a pro. I'm gonna be learning about all this stuff for the rest of my life, but, like, that's the goal. The
yeah.
more I learn, the more I grow, the better we get as humans. So, squat, touch your toes. Second one is a plank to a downward dog. So
Okay.
ideally, you would go straight. So you do your 10 squats, go straight into reaching for the toes, hold that for a minute. While you're reaching for the toes, just walk straight out to a plank. So it's all a flow. You're get like move
Yeah,
each movement leads you into the next one. So you hold your plank for a full inhale, exhale. One inhale, exhale should take you about 8 to 10 seconds. So it's not a And then you're in your down dog, it's a inhale for 4, hold it, exhale for 4, and as you exhale, then you go into that downward dog, and again, you hold that for a full breath, 4 or 8 to 10
Yeah.
seconds. So a lot of this and like, a lot of my clients speed racing through it, and I'm like, "Okay, and now I count." So now I'm gonna now that I'm counting, you're
And
not
now I
moving.
count.
Yeah, literally, I'm like, I sound so annoying half the time, and, like, I make it fun, obviously, and I kind of like there's, like, a little bit of banter that goes into
Yeah.
this. I'm like, "If you're going too fast or if you've ever thought that you were going slow," it's like the same concept that we talked about at this wedding. As you're walking down the aisle, if you ever think that you're walking slow,
Slow down.
walk slower. So it's
Yeah.
same thing. You know,
Yeah.
if you think it's happening slow, like, go a little bit slower. So plank for a full breath, downward dog for a full breath, and you do that 5 times.
Okay.
Straight from there, you're already hands on the ground, straight to cat cow, so just drop to the
Yes.
knees. Make
Oh,
sure
that
that
feels so good. I need those
I
right
know,
now.
literally same.
My
This
lower back is killing me.
my girl, we flew back from Mexico yesterday. This
Yeah.
whole routine, I did not do it last night because I was a dead person last night, but this morning as I, like, got up before
Yeah.
breakfast, I was like, "Here we go."
I'm
So
gonna
it's
do it as soon
exactly
as we
what I
get
did.
off this
There we go.
recording because 'cause I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, my back is killing me today."
And cat cow, most people, that extension part when you're really arching, that's the part that people wanna speed race through because we sit in a society
Yeah.
where we're, like, we're hunched over.
Yes.
So when really extending your spine and getting more of, like, that U shape, so, think of your tailbone and crown of the head going up to the sky, hold that for another 8 to 10 seconds. So it's again, every single one of these is timing with your breath and your movement. So do the arch for a full 8 to 10 seconds, full breath, full inhale, exhale, and then always like switch that on the exhale. So as you're exhaling and reaching the end of that 4 to 5 seconds, go into like your cow and hold that. And it should feel nice. It might feel uncomfortable, but again, as you're breathing, you can
Make it
hold these
better.
for longer. Like I would prefer not shorter, but hold them for longer.
Yeah.
It's going to be great for you. Another 5 of those. So it's 10 squats, a minute of reaching for your toes, 5 plank to downward dog. So a lot of core engagement with the plank too,
Yeah.
because you're really engaging the core and then you're really stretching from like, I mean, you're in an upside down, you're in a little teepee position. So
Yeah.
you're getting from heels to the crown of the head, a full stretch there. Cat cow, all about the spine. And then world's greatest stretch. So you move, do your 5 cat cow, finish last one, pull one leg forward, so you're kind of in this, like, low lunge position, and you want, like, from knee to knee, which this part I will actually have to put on my social media so that way we
I was
can
gonna say this
make
would
sure
be kinda nice, you just run through each of the that would be a nice
Yeah,
video for people to refer back to.
for sure, I'll try and do that today, actually.
Yeah.
So, world's greatest stretch, I've actually a lot of my clients, because I have them do this, they'll say, like, "I saw a study on the world's greatest stretch, and it really is the world's greatest stretch." I'm like, "They call it that for a reason, who knew?" So, basically, let's say you take your left leg back first, so your right leg is forward,
Mhm.
left leg is back, and you're really wanting to sink into your hips, so, like, think about pushing your hips forward. Your both your hands are gonna start on the inside of that front right knee, and then you're gonna really shift the weight to your left hand, so that way you can send your right arm open, and you're opening your chest towards that front right knee.
Yeah.
Because then that way, spine health is also a huge thing, core, mobility, these things all go hand in hand, but twisting through our spines, like, our spines are meant to bend forward, extend backwards, bend side to side,
Yeah.
twist, so getting all of that movement in throughout this warm up, it kinda hits all of those.
And do you do 5 each side, or how many do you do?
Yeah, that I'll do, yeah, usually 5 each side.
Okay.
Yep,
I think
and
this
then
is a really good way to start your day, especially for nurses, because we
yes.
are especially those nurses out there in adult
Mhm.
ICUs, people are full
Yeah,
cares, and you're having to lift and pull and push and do all those
right.
things. This is a way to really move that spine. And, like, talking
Yeah.
about this, I'm, like, just thinking about my spine and how much my spine hurts right now,
Yeah.
and just, like, touch base on, like, how important your spine is.
Like, it's crazy. Like, I think our spine health is arguably one of the there's actually this phrase that I forget exactly who said it, but you are as young as your spine is healthy. And, like,
Oh,
if
wow.
you think about that, like, that's a pretty powerful statement, like,
Yeah.
and I say that to anyone who will listen. So if you think about that, like, if you can be the best athlete in the world, but if you don't have, like, a flexible spine and one that bends with you and moves with you, not against you, like, you're you're kind of not in the best spot, I would just say that, and, like, a lot of what I really preach as well with core strength, like, when I talk core, I'm actually talking about your spine,
Yeah.
and I eventually kind of, like, have to explain that to people because people will think, "Okay, we're training core, it just, like, give me the six pack, the superficial abs
Yeah.
that, like, everyone wants." Like, I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't, I'd be happy with the six pack, but that all comes with, like, a whole 'nother mess of just, like, calorie deficit, you have to, like,
Yeah.
all of, like, visible muscle, and especially on your belly where your food is
Yeah.
stored, like, that's just a harder thing to do. So, taking away from I guess, leaning into more of the functionality versus just the aesthetic is just more beneficial and functional long term. Like, the when I was younger, sure, I could be doing crunches for a million years, and I was like, "Alright, I got some abs, like, I'm good." But now it's less important. Like, it does
Yeah.
like, what is I think there's, like, a metric to self-worth that we need to really, like, make realistic as well. Like, abs aren't gonna, like they're not gonna make your life better.
Not
A
gonna
healthy
save your life.
spine yeah, a healthy spine, that shit's gonna save your
Well,
life one day.
and you feel like I mean, now that
Yeah.
I'm doing things correctly, because another
Mhm.
aspect of, like, yes, Beachbody is great, but no one's watching you, no one's correcting you,
Right,
no
right.
one's, like and that's why, like, being in front of a mirror, as difficult as that is, it is a really good
Powerful.
yeah, it's a really good suggestion, and people should really do that because if
Yeah.
you even you posting a video, you being able to, like, watch yourself I'm, like, looking at a
Right.
mirror next to me, like, if you're watching yourself in the mirror, you're
Yeah.
gonna see, like, "Oh, if I just" 'cause, with me, I would
Right.
arch
You
my
can see,
back
are your shoulders
yeah, and,
waving
like, your
your
shoulders up,
ears?
you arching
Yeah.
your back, like, those little things you think you're doing it
Mhm.
right, but until you see yourself, you can't correct that, so
Right. And even, like, the watching yourself in a mirror, I think is powerful for many reasons, but if you're somebody that's very self-conscious about going to the gym, if you can't even watch yourself, how do you think you're ever gonna get into the gym to do it?
yeah.
So it's like,
Oh, that's
just
true. Yeah.
become your own bestie, like,
Yeah.
like, you have to, like, we all
Yes.
have to have this, like, level of, like, self-love and self-worth that, like, it
Yeah.
comes from within, like, I totally like, again, I totally relate to, like, the gym fear and just,
Yeah.
like, that intimidation, like, I've been there, so, like, I totally empathize with that, but that is why I started recording myself, started, like, watching my form at home, so that way when I went to the gym, I felt more confident doing it,
Yeah.
so the mirror is a powerful tool, you kinda have to
And loving
respectfully get over
yourself.
yourself.
I mean,
Yes.
and that's the whole ugh, I'm so glad you said that because that's just,
Yeah.
like, the whole emphasis of what I wanted this year to be. Because like, I mean,
Yeah.
full disclosure, I don't even know if I told you, but the reason I focused on this is I had a really horrible year last
Oh,
year. Like,
really?
just like, my brother had, something really terrible happen. I'm so grateful
Yeah.
he's here, like, and it was all, like, health related, genetics related,
Right.
like, it's something we sometimes don't have control of, but,
Sure.
I had to deal with that. I had to deal with personal relationships falling apart
Mhm.
and just, like, I felt depleted, and I've
Mhm.
never said that at the bedside. I've never not been able to give
Oh, wow.
anything, and it happened to
Yeah.
me, and it was over the littlest thing, and I
Yeah,
remember
you're
going
human.
going to my charge nurse and being like, I'm depleted. I can't," and she looked at me and she's like, "What? You?" Like, and I'm like, "I cannot
Yeah.
give to this person what they need from me," and that made me be like, "Okay, I need to change something." So,
Yeah.
and that was learning to love myself again,
Well,
and
and that's
and it
like
that's what this all is about.
right, and that's so good on you too to, like, acknowledge that because like, so many people are just like, "I'm just gonna keep going, just keep it moving, keep
Mhm.
the train moving," and at some point, like, one of my notes, like, in my notes app when I was prepping for this was like, "Stress is the silent killer."
Yeah.
Like, we all know that to be true, so, like, whether that's work stress, life stress, like, we all have some
Mhm.
level of stress. But as somebody who like, when I got into the gym, it was because I was getting out of a terrible job and a terrible relationship. So,
Yeah,
like, I was like, "I need an outlet," and
yeah,
thankfully, I that outlet was the gym for me. And but you like, the level of self-love that you, like the gym and just working out in general, I say the gym because that's just,
yeah,
like, physically where I go to,
yeah,
but
yeah,
working out, exercise, like, this whole lifestyle in general is, like, the greatest gift of self-love that you can give to
yeah.
yourself. not only to you, but, like, the more you give to yourself, like, the more you're able to give to other people, like,
Exactly.
in your life, in your profession. Because again, if you're not filling your own cup and prioritizing your own mental, physical, emotional health, that is gonna trickle into other facets of your life, whether you realize it or not, and, like, that's where, like, some unfortunate, like, toxic things can come into
Yeah.
play, and if that, like, level of just, like, self-stress is happening too, where, like, you're battling with self-love, like, that is a whole thing that I could really just chat on for, like, hours on end
Yeah.
because we see it everywhere, but, like, I'm just such a firm believer, like, if you can just give yourself a little bit, just a little dose of love, like, whatever you give to, like, your parents, your children, your pets, your partner, whoever that is, like, give that to yourself in the way of, like, a healthy lifestyle, like, everything in your life is just gonna get so much better.
Yeah, and it's so true, and that's I'm so happy you said that because, like,
Yeah.
literally, this was kind of like my own whim is that, like,
Yeah,
we talk about what do we wanna focus on, and I just think as nurses, like, we do put ourselves last a lot of the
for
time,
sure.
and, it's hard to even function, and I used to say, like, when I was younger and I went through, like, a really bad breakup, which in my
Mhm.
20s, and I was like, "Oh my god.
Sure. Yeah, the
Oh,
world
divorce?
sky's falling.
This is
Yeah.
terrible."
Right.
And I, was like my colleagues were like, "Don't come to work, like, take some time off." I'm like, "No, work is my distraction, work is this,"
Right.
which at the
Yeah.
time it was.
Yeah.
But I was young, I was a young nurse, I'm like, "Whatever, I go there, like, I do my
Sure.
job, I do this," but when you get into your career and, like,
Yeah.
what you really truly love doing and wanna be successful and it's not that I didn't wanna be successful, I
Right.
was 21, 22 years old, I
Yeah,
didn't
and
know
it's
what
a
the
different
what the heck I
mindset
was
then
doing.
too.
Yeah.
Right. You're
So
just one foot in front of the other.
yes, and so it's like, I wanna be the best version of myself in every
Mhm.
aspect of that,
Right.
and knowing that I wasn't, it like, mental health is huge, and,
Yeah.
a lot of people struggle, and we don't talk about it, and it just
Right.
has become such a horrible thing, and I think when you nailed it on the head when you said giving to yourself what you like, a portion of what you give,
Right.
and everyone has someone, like, and or
Everyone. I don't
something.
care if it's your cat, your
Yeah,
dog, like,
exactly. A
whoever you're
fish, like,
yeah, literally,
you're
like,
caring for
anyone.
something,
Right.
caring for a plant. Like, everyone
Yes.
can make an excuse why I have
Plant moms
nothing.
unite.
Yeah,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, you have something to give. You want to see things succeed. That's
Yeah.
who we are as people. That's who we are at our
Mhm.
core.
Right.
And, just giving yourself something gives yourself love
I
and
mean,
loving yourself.
self-love is not selfish. It is a
It's right.
necessary
Yeah,
part of, like, our humanity, and I
yeah,
think, like, we just I don't know, society is just like, we're in a weird state
yeah,
of the world right now, and I just think the more the more negativity I see, the more it's like, "Okay, well, how can I practice my own positivity?" Which is a
yeah.
daily, if not hourly practice sometimes,
Yeah,
like,
it is.
it's hard, like, there are
Yeah,
days even just, like, a couple weeks ago, like, I was, like, really July, like, that month that we were
yeah,
trying to connect, and it was really crazy.
yeah,
I was traveling a lot, I got really like, I had a horrible cold, I had not worked out for the entire month of July, like, some very light stretching, but, like, wasn't doing my
yeah.
mobility or anything, and there was one day, like, I was so crabby, like, I was just like, "I think I'm gonna implode," and, like, I was definitely taking some out on my boyfriend, God bless him, and he all of a sudden, like, I worked out one day and I came back, like, the
I'm
happiest mood,
fine.
and I was like, "Oh, wait, I'm back." I was like, "Turns
Yeah,
out I just needed to, like, lift some heavy things," and, like and here we are,
yeah.
we're back to it.
And we joke
So,
about that, right? Like, we joke
yeah,
about, "Oh, just go to the gym and lift heavy, like, it'll
right.
take your stress out, pretend it's someone's head." But, like, it does help.
It
Like, it
works,
really does.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
work those endorphins get going, and, like,
yeah,
I forget somebody and I don't know, like, there was a doctor that I like, a couple doctors that I follow on, Instagram that are always talking about this, and I can't regurgitate it quite so eloquently, but one of these doctors was saying, "Your muscles, quite literally, the only way that they will secrete these specific hormones," and I can't speak to which ones they are, but all the feel-good hormones,
yeah,
that you're only going to physically get those benefits if your muscles are contracting. So whether that's going on and not just like a light walk, like, put a little
yeah,
gazant into it, like walking, squat, like whatever you're doing, you need to contract your muscles to physically get those feel good hormones secreted into your body. And then, yes, you're in a better mood. So, like, we hear this phrase, you'll never regret a workout. Like, the bat,
yeah.
what is it? the worst workout is still, like, better than, like, a good or I'm totally butchering this, but something
Yeah,
like you're never gonna have a bad workout, it's
yeah,
always gonna make you feel a little bit better. Even if you go for 5 minutes and you're like, "Okay, like, I'm not really feeling it," just, like, start your warm up, do the mobility routine, and if you still don't feel like doing it, fine, I'll cut you some slack maybe 1 or 2 times, but eventually, you gotta breach that
yeah,
mindset hurdle too.
yeah. Ugh, I love how deep this got. This took a little bit of a turn that I wasn't expecting it
Yeah.
to turn,
One
but
thing about me is we're gonna get deep.
I love that, and that's, like, why I'm so it was so funny because I like, you and I never met before you were
Right.
suggested,
Yeah.
and because I had Sydney come on, and you
Sure.
work with Sydney, and, I was like, "Who would be good?" And she recommended you, and then I asked someone
Oh,
else,
so sweet.
and they recommended you, and it's kinda nice when people are
Mm.
just, like, put into your life and,
Yeah.
it ends up being such a great relationship, and I think that I wanted this to be more than, "Okay, wake up in the morning, do this, this, and this." Like,
Yeah.
explain why this is important and
Right.
why this helps anyone. And, like,
Mhm.
and this is something that I'm going to take back those movements to, like, to my mom because her
Yeah.
knee's bothering her and, like, she doesn't know
Mhm.
what to do, but these things you can do, and if you can't
Yeah.
do it right away, that's okay, but it gives you
Yeah, that's
something to
kind of the
work
point.
towards, and it's
Right.
5 minutes. It's 5 minutes
Mhm.
at the beginning of your day and end of day, or pick one
Right.
and work up to it, and I think that that's realistic for
For
every
sure.
single person out there.
Every single person. Like, even, like, my sister who's got 2 small children and, like, this I mean, she's, like, the best mom out there, like, her kids are, like, her absolute priority, and then there's me, auntie, being like, "But who's taking care of mom?"
Yeah,
Like, who's taking and even
yeah,
to my own mother who's now has, like, all these grandkids that, like, they're both thriving, like, they are my mom is a wonderful grandmother, my sister's a wonderful mom, so, like, that's such, like, a
yeah,
beautiful thing to see. But, like, I feel like no one's reminding them to take care of
yeah,
themselves. So, like, I'm gonna be the annoying auntie that's like, "Okay, but who's taking care of, like, my mom and my sister? Because like,
yeah,
you guys are still my important people, and, like, yes, you're taking care of all these little babies, but, like, the babies watching you also take care of yourself is great, like, foundations for them because they
yeah.
see you
Ex
prioritize
Well, just
yourself."
like my story with my mom, like, that
Yes,
just, like,
exactly.
I always remembered her doing that, but ju
Yeah.
until we talked about this, it's like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, like, that was
Yeah,
her
it, like,
taking the time for herself,
yeah.
and it was I remember this, she's like, "Well, I've always wanted to be able to touch my toes, so every time I would run your bath at night, I would just continue to try to touch my toes."
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I'm
that's
like,
amazing.
I know, like, it's just, like, that's so and I'm just like, "Oh, I can't wait to, like, call my mom after this and be like,
Yes.
'I talked about you.'"
Shout out mom, right. And it's, like,
Yeah,
such a beautiful thing too, because if you think about, like, just humans inherently, like, we once we accomplish something, like, we're like, "Okay, well, what's next?" At least, like, most people I surround myself with, like, kinda feel that way. Like, it's
yeah,
whether that's workout, professional, relationship, like, I mean, even using, like, "Oh, we made one successful kid, like, how about a second one?" You know, like,
yeah,
you can kind of apply that to anything. So if that's the type of mindset you have in other aspects of your life, do your 5-minute morning and nighttime mobility routine, and I promise you, you're gonna be like, "Okay, what else do I need to do?
yeah.
What else can I do? How now that this feels good and I've gotten myself to a good point with this, what else can I do to make
What's
myself
next?
feel better?
Yeah,
Where can I find the community of people that are like-minded or that people in my life, like, maybe I could help them with this too? Like, get
right,
your husband or your sibling or your parent to do it with you, you know? So,
exactly.
there's a lot of power in community for sure.
There is. Well, thank you so much. I really
Yeah.
this was great, and like I said, we touched on so many more important things than I thought that we would, but
Yeah,
I think it would be good to have, like, those videos and,
for sure.
just even, if you wanted, like, just, like, a sample thing for someone to do on the road, like a travel nurse to do on the
Yep.
road would be great, but I definitely think you have a lot more to share with this community, and
Yeah, definitely.
we've already invested an hour of our time into it, so
Yeah,
I think this may mean we need to find
I'm all
another
for it.
episode.
I mean, that's the thing about, like, this stuff is, like, where I started was, like, free content,
Yeah,
like, through social media and podcasts and whatever like, YouTube, like, whatever it can be, like, that again, that's a beautiful part of, like, social
yeah,
media today, so, like, we gotta lean into it, so I'm here for whatever you want for your community, I'm happy to help. This
thank
has
you.
been great.
Yes, and we'll definitely send everyone your way on your Instagram and,
Perfect.
yeah, you can definitely help influence many,
Yeah,
many nurses and people out there, so thank you
I
so
hope so.
much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for tuning in to Nursing Uncharted. You can learn more about this episode and our show on our website at amnhealthcare.com. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend and subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast platform. You can also find show updates and nursing opportunities on our Instagram at AMN Nurse. Special thanks to AMN Healthcare for making this show possible.